Hey guys, how are we doing today? As always, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. Clint and I are very grateful to have you guys following along with us. And want to give a big happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Hope you all were able to enjoy your day, doing whatever it is you were doing. So we are very grateful for our moms. We all know that they have the hardest job in the world. So kudos to you and all you do. I am currently sitting in a hotel room. I've been camping this last week, been hunting for turkeys and looking for sheds and just enjoying the great outdoors here near Newcastle, Colorado. I had a couple friends from Mississippi come out. That was awesome. We ended up getting 2 birds, and Remy retrieved her first sheds this week, which was really cool to see her work and to pick up those sheds and bring them back to me. She found a few deer sheds and a small brown 4-point elk. And so she loves it. She loves having a job. She loves cruising around. So it's I've been finding it's really, really fun. It's been a much bigger picture than I originally anticipated having a lab. There's all these different things that she's learning, and I've never specifically done training for those things, but she does a great job and she picks them right up. So really cool to see. This week's episode is coming to you from the campfire of our turkey camp. So like I said, my friends Carson and Chase, they came out from Mississippi to hunt turkeys. They did a big turkey hunt road trip. Went through Kansas, Nevada, and I think a couple Texas as well. Then they came through Colorado and met up with me. I had met Carson quite a few years back when I went to Mississippi with a friend and stayed at their cabin there. There's a cabin that they use. It's their hunting shack. And so we hung out there for the night, and I went out and sat in deer stand the next morning, but didn't really get to know Carson very much, and then ended up meeting him again this past winter when he came to Steamboat with some friends to ski. We were talking about elk hunting and our future plans for elk hunting, and he mentioned he was doing this turkey road trip and he wanted to swing into Colorado and hunt turkeys with me. So that's what we did. I met up with them on Monday night, and it was pretty cool. I just met Chase when they pulled up in the truck. Super awesome guys. Really cool to go from being essentially strangers to now, sorry buddies, we are lifelong pals now. After the experiences that we shared in the mountains for a few days, those are true, genuine experiences. Those are experiences that I'm looking for, and those also create these unique, deep relationships with people as well. So I'm not going to tell you too much about the hunt, because that's what we are talking about in this week's episode as we sit around the campfire. I do apologize. Remy barks a couple times, and there's some background noise with the creek. And we had a couple other friends there that chimed in every once in a while, and their voices are a little quiet. So I do apologize for that. But it's really cool. Chase and Carson go into some of the land management they do in Mississippi and just the way of life over there. And I tell you, these guys are the turkey whisperers, especially Carson. He has a way with that turkey call. These guys have been hunting turkeys ever since they were young. And for me, it was really cool to just follow along and learn from them. I learned so much in a couple days' time, and I'm really excited to apply that now to how I hunt and how I pursue turkeys. So hope you all enjoy this episode, and I hope you're having a great week. We'll catch you later. What a day, huh?
Man, you ain't lying.
Woo. So I want to hear the perspectives on today from Chase and then from you, Carson.
Well, perspectives of us planning on getting up before daylight and getting out there and going turkey hunting were in the picture, and then they weren't in the picture. So my perspectives were, we woke up, we got everything cleaned up, packed up, got us a little game plan, and I don't think me and Carson were really ready for the whole mountain thing, but that's the truth. It got serious real quick. Today we killed a bird, and it's probably the most successful bird I've ever been a part of. Whether that was me shooting, doesn't matter. Like it felt very satisfying.
I just felt like we worked so well as a team out there. We were just like,
oh no, that was.
It just happened, you know. There wasn't like, hey, should we do that? No.
Man, what I liked is you took your time with us getting up the mountain. You knew that we weren't going to be in the shape to do that, and I mean, every time we stopped to take a break, you were showing us this, or hey, we're going to look for this. Y'all help me look for sheds doing this. This is what you're looking for. So it was more than just a hunt. It was also like a school lesson almost, like teaching and learning, and it was cool, man. It really was. It's something I'll never forget. I mean, like the whole trip, even just walking up and everything. But
Well,
it was cool.
when you were talking last night, and you were calling it a ridge, I knew that you were kind of full of shit on that one. So I kind of prepared myself mentally for that. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. When we got there, I was like, yeah. I knew I
Remy, come here. Come. Come on.
I told Chase.
Come here.
I told Chase when we were getting our stuff together at the truck. I was like, we just got to get up this mountain. Like that needs to be a goal of ours, just to get up the mountain.
I agree with that.
And I was like, if we get up the mountain, that's a huge accomplishment for us, because like we don't have mountains where we are. Yeah. It's like, let's just get up the mountain. Well, of course we struggled up the mountain, and I was lagging behind. Once we got up there, did I expect to hear a bird gobble right there where we were?
Well, that's when everything turned right there.
Seriously.
Like getting to the top of the mountain and looking at that view was an accomplishment. Like you said it exactly right. Just that in itself was satisfying. Like shit, we did that.
Yeah.
We got that. Us coming from Mississippi.
Yeah.
Where it's flatlands, and when somebody literally says a ridge, I can be up that ridge in 10 steps. 10.
Wow.
I can run up if I want to full sprint.
A ridge is like 10 foot of difference elevation.
Yeah.
I think I might have left a long out there.
But yeah, so once we get up there, it was cool and all. So we're all sitting up there, and we're all kind of doing our own thing, just kind of spread out, looking for sheds, whatever. I cut a few turkey tracks. I didn't even, like I said earlier, we didn't even talk about me getting a call. I just pulled out a call and had a little yawp, and we had there he went. And I was like, hey,
Let's go.
we got a turkey job.
I was still breathing so hard. I didn't hear the bird gobble.
Yeah, you didn't hear it, right?
He goes, where are y'all going? What is it? I'm like, a turkey's gobbling. He goes, oh, okay. And his whole vibe, like everything changed on him right then.
Yeah.
It really did. Like he there was no breathing hard. You weren't worried. You weren't worried about that climb anymore or any of the other stuff. Everything left.
It was about killing this turkey versus trying to get up the fucking hill.
Yeah, we got up that hill. Having that bird gobble there, we were in his bubble. And having him gobble there, I mean, that was just... Even if we wouldn't have killed the bird, having him gobble and just being in the game after that climb was all worth it. And I knew when he responded back, or when he seemed to cut Chase off pretty quick. And he was up high with us on our level, so I kind of knew we had a good chance to kill him. And I'm sitting there trying to pull my maps out to make a move on him, or just try to figure something out.
Yeah.
But I knew time was ticking because I know how fast those Merriams move. And I was just like, it was any second. And I think I hit a call again. And
well, you did your mouth. You did your regular mouth, and he didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And then you grabbed your yelper, and
you said he didn't like that, and then I was really thinking he was making a move.
Yeah.
Was really what I was thinking. He was just moving. And so I knew we were kind of limited on our time, and I think I hit a call again, and he finally responded, and he was like right on top of us.
I was impressed at how fast we all got behind that bush.
Yeah.
Well,
And it was sit down. There was nothing. It was any second now he was going to be on top of us.
And he was.
yeah, he was.
It's
And
crazy that he didn't have any hands with him.
Yeah, no, that's another thing. That's
I
why
think
we
he's
were.
up there spooked from all the hunters. man.
well, what I was telling Draya, she'd been in there working those birds
Okay.
for a few days, and they've been having hens, and she's been dealing with the hens and all that, and she's been going in there early in the morning.
Right.
So I told her, I was like, let's just sleep in. Let's get out there whenever we get out there, 10 o'clock, a little bit later or whatever. Let's get out there, and maybe he'll be off his hens
Right.
because, he'll get with them early in the morning and breed, and then he'll separate, or they can, and he'll go look for another hen. And, if
Where
we're
would
in the
that
right
hen?
spot,
Yeah.
we're gonna kill him. And when he gobbled up top like that, at that time of the day, I knew, he was probably by himself. And as far as the setup and stuff, I mean, it was just we just had to make a quick sit down.
Yeah.
And
There was no discussing, hey, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
we
it was-
basically, Chase knew. He sat down right there, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna keep going. And all I was doing was,
Getting behind.
it was probably 60 yards, and I was just walking and calling. Like, I was walking like a fast pace, me and Draya. And we just hit a tree and called, and we almost messed up. But,
I almost messed up.
yeah,
Why?
We wound
Why'd you
up going back.
Well, so whenever we all sat down, so Carson said, "You get somewhere up in here." I sat down, and y'all went behind me calling. Well, as soon as y'all sat down, and he hit that trumpet call. Whenever the turkey sounded off way down to the left. Well, that's where I was like,
Yeah.
got up and was like,
Come
y'all
on now.
come on. He's working the edge of the ridge. Like, that's what my thing. He's walking the edge of that ridge. We got to cut him off.
Yeah.
When technically he was just trying to find a way up. He
Yeah.
wanted to come up the smoothest way possible. And I'm used to a turkey in Mississippi and down there. They're coming straight to you. They ain't got no obstacles. They ain't got nothing in their way.
If you're in the right spot. Yeah.
90% of the time in Mississippi,
Yeah.
they're coming. They can walk over the ridge and walk straight to you. Where Tom here today,
They got
he had to maneuver around the ridge and come up this way and zigzag a little bit. And that's when it almost got bad. Because I called y'all up and we all get to where I was sitting,
And then all of a sudden there he was.
and he hammers
Yeah.
at 50 yards, and we all just sit down.
Yeah.
We all just literally just sat down.
It was really cool, though, to all be together when you're,
Yeah,
like,
that's what
right
that
there
is
when
one
you're-
thing I liked about the whole situation.
Yeah.
Was if y'all would have never saw me shoot if he'd have came up that route and y'all were 40 yards behind me. Y'all never would have been a part of any of that.
Yeah.
That's what made it really special and cool to me
I
too.
would have still been hooting and hollering.
Oh no, we all would still been hooting and hollering, but we were all literally could have like touched each other from where we were sitting, and he did what he
Yeah,
did.
you all
Yeah.
spotted it at the same time.
It was wild.
I was like I was set up. Chase is like right here. Like
Yeah.
I'm basically behind his gun, but
He could almost
and
see my red dot.
bird. I saw the bird coming down. I was watching, but I'm just sitting here looking at like I got the best seat in the house. I'm watching Chase and I'm watching the bird, and
Oh.
and I mean and the first thing that we saw was not his head. It was his tail, his fan.
Man.
Yeah,
He was blowed
All
up, and he
puffed
was
up.
just walking.
he was coming up the ridge all blown up.
There he is, Chase. There he is, and he hit that opening, and I stopped him, and he was just about to gobble.
Oh yeah.
He was about to
hammer.
gobble, and Chase, boom, whopping right there,
Yeah, it was
and it was just
crazy.
it was
Like,
just pure emotion after
That's
that.
awesome.
oh yeah, it went wild after that.
It's pretty
Yeah.
much been pure
Yeah.
emotions all day. After
Yeah, I
that.
mean, I hadn't
I feel
quit
like we're
thinking
still
about
on the wave and we haven't crashed.
No, we
Dude,
have not.
You flop around a lot.
it. He really, I did a good like feather neck shot, and
He's done.
he was pretty much head asleep and his wings just flapping.
So we shoot that we shoot TSS.
Nitro TSS.
So you're shooting like number 9s.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, it's insane.
Okay.
So you shoot number 9s. A number 9 hits like a number 4 or 5 lead.
Will you
Really?
explain, like, to our listeners what those numbers mean? 'Cause some people don't know.
Like it's
It's the density of the
Yeah.
weight
Yeah.
of
you
the
have
tungsten steel.
TSS is super. So it's got a higher density than lead or steel. Or,
But it's lighter and it hits harder.
so you're getting more energy out of a smaller BB. You get the same energy out of a number 9 as you can a number 4 or 5. And when I say number 9s is the size of the BB.
Yeah.
Number 9's smaller, way smaller than a number 5 or 6. So you're getting more BBs. You're getting more load in a shell. So literally when that thing's coming out, it is just a swarm
Yeah.
Of babies.
of BB. It's insane.
Oh, little bitty tiny stuff.
So you're
Like-
looking.
Micro.
Yeah.
So you're
Smaller
looking
than
at
I used
like
for clay pigeon.
we sight our guns in at 40 yards. You're looking at 230 BBs in a 10-inch circle at 40
Yeah.
yards.
I'll tell you what mine is. Well, I'm shooting a Remington, old school Remington 870 Express 20 gauge. I'm shooting a 3-inch shell, Nitro TSS 8s and 9s. And I got 275 pellets at 40 yards in a 10-inch circle. Well, that's
It's still
my longest shot on a turkey with that gun is 62 steps, and he filmed it. It was unreal. Like, and that turkey didn't move much. Like,
So do you guys know why you can only use as small as 2-shot? What's the theory behind that?
on the 9-shot.
No, so in Colorado you can only use the biggest you can use is 2-shot. What do you guys think the
I
reason
think-
is of that?
Well, I think that's going to give you less BBs.
Right.
So the bigger BBs you have, the more downrange, the more spread your pattern is. You're gonna have more holes in your pattern.
Okay.
So
You might just hit
so
'em with
you
a
might
couple
just miss,
bees.
or you might wound the.
yeah, you're gonna
wound the bird.
you're gonna
You got
you're
less chance.
yeah you're gonna
Makes sense.
wound more birds than you are at a certain distance. So yeah, that turkey today, it doesn't matter what we were shooting. I really didn't. He was
Yeah.
stone dead. He was
Yeah,
He was that
he was
close.
17 yards.
Yeah.
He was on top of us.
Mhm.
And if we wouldn't have said nothing, he was gonna get in our lap. Like, there was no doubt about it. He was on a string.
It's so wild to be that close to those animals,
It is.
and they don't know you're there.
To do something like that with a turkey is very,
So
very
cool.
rare.
Yeah.
It's
It was a great day. I will say that. It was a full-on experience, from hiking, killing, spending that time with close friends, also new friends and stuff like that. It was just a very good day. Honestly, it was. I don't think any of us would forget that moment.
no.
Any
I
of
don't
it.
know.
Yeah. Whether we had
Definitely-
pictures, cameras, or not, we wouldn't
Yeah.
forget that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I felt about that.
It's definitely the most exhilarating hunt of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Send shivers down your back.
Oh, yeah.
Start down.
Yeah, and I mean, hunting birds back home and stuff like that. I was telling Cam earlier, you kind of take things for granted back home and places that you've hunted your whole life, and it's just like kind of like becomes like a everyday thing, or something. It's just, and then you come out here, places like this,
It's way more
you
rewarding.
get humbled
Oh, yeah.
really quick out here.
Which we didn't feel like that today. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what we did to deserve the luck we had today.
Remember the first question I asked you guys yesterday? One of the first questions?
No.
I was like, y'all want to get after some turkeys tomorrow? I know where they're at. And I'm like, but we got to hike.
Yeah.
Want to hike for it?
Yeah.
Hike the ridge.
And we did. And see, that's what I had for you. What was your experience today going into it? You taking 2 Mississippi boys from deep south, and you're like, they say they can kill turkeys, and I know where they are. Let's see if they can get them in.
I told you guys last night, I said, tomorrow I'm going to take you to where the turkeys are. But once we get up there, I am dropping back and I'm going to let you guys take lead so I can watch from you guys. Because I've only turkey hunted really, like last year was my first year turkey hunting a lot.
Yep.
And I learned a lot, but you can only learn so much. And especially when you're hunting solo. I hunted solo so much last year that you don't have other perspectives to bounce off of. And the mistakes are your own, maybe
but
not
you're
someone
learning every
else's.
day on turkey hunting.
What's that?
You learn every day turkey hunting.
And that was today. I learned, it was so cool. Just watch you guys, like, you were so in your element, and I captured it all, and it was so wild. Like, I learned so much. It was cool.
Could you tell that we've
Cool.
hunted together? Like, me and Chase have hunted together before?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But it's
I know.
weird, because I felt like we've all hunted together.
I felt that too. Like, I felt like you were, like, you were just down. Like, whatever was said, like, you were like, all right, I'm on it. Like, there wasn't going to be no deep explanation about it. It was, okay, let's go.
We all three fed off each other.
It was
we were
awesome.
we were in your house, like your element. You know this land, and like, but we know the turkeys. We know turkeys, and so we're learning from you as far as how the land works and the lay of it and everything like that, and you're learning from us as far as like turkey hunting. So it's like it was just all perfect.
Yeah, there was a lot of learning, I think, on all
Oh,
of our
absolutely.
levels.
It was like I was just saying. Even if you turkey hunt 30 years, you'll still learn every day. Like I learned next time coming up here, don't always you hear if he was 30 yards from you down the ridge, and then he gobbles 60 yards past you. That doesn't mean he ain't gonna come to you because. It's different territory. He's trying to make his way to you. It's just.
It was really weird though. Today was the first time. So the last 3 days I've been hunting up there, but today for some reason I was like, I want to go over see the fields. So remember I was like, should we go check out those fields?
Yeah.
And I was like, for some reason it was just like this, like let's check out this side because normally I just shoot straight through all that, get to where the turkeys normally are, like down on those ridges, down in the next bottom, versus being like. What else up here? Like, there's clearly got to be turkeys over here.
Yeah.
And there was. Yeah.
And then on top of that, we tried to get on more birds up there. On our way down, we cut fresh gobbler tracks and run into his hens. So we know for the next few days, we know where there's another turkey.
It was also another great thing about that today was that I've taken a lot of people in there. I've hunted it a bunch. We have not been successful. My friend shot at a turkey, but he didn't hit it. We got in close another time, but my friend didn't want to pull back. He was archery hunting at that time, and it was just a headshot. Then just the other day, we were in there and we were set up, and this Tom came in and he snuck in and he got within 15 yards, and I couldn't see him, but Bev saw him, and she moved to try and stand up to shoot, and he just snuck right off. So there's been so many so close opportunity, almost getting it done.
That's something I
it was
learned.
It's like the icing on the cake today of I've put so much time in this place, and it's so good to finally see.
And another thing, like what you're saying, you find it a lot of people, they'll even my friends, my buddies back home, they'll be working birds for several weeks, and they just can't seal the deal,
Yeah.
And it's not what they're doing is wrong or anything like that, but sometimes it takes a new person going in there with a different perspective, a different style of hunting, or something like that to change it up, and you make a successful hunt. And that happens a lot, and that's how it is in turkey woods.
I feel like all species too.
Yeah.
It relates to a lot of different species. Different perspectives.
It sure was a good day. It was cool. Still is, sitting around what we're doing right now.
Chilling by the fire.
Chilling, got the creek flowing.
You guys are pretty good storytellers, or I love it.
dog in the lap. And then we meet these two guys. They pull up
Right?
and pull up. I mean, how big of a shed of that bull? I mean, golly. I mean, a unit shed.
Like,
came from the
what
heaven.
was your feelings walking up on that shed? That'd have been exciting.
It was my buddy who was with me, Steve, who actually saw it first, but I had scoped it from probably 400 or 500 yards away. And I was almost certain it was an elk shed, but I still wasn't 100%.
You were just keeping your cool, huh?
Trying
You didn't want to get your hopes up.
To keep my, keep my expectations low.
Yeah, therefore they can get super high.
Marked it on Onyx and finally got over there. I got right underneath my Onyx mark. Saw the big flashy pile of wood that I was kind of referencing from. Hollered out at Steve. Hey Steve, I found the big flashy pile of wood. Should be right in front of you. Oh my lord, Cam. I said, what'd you find it? He says, it's huge.
Wow,
Is
Man.
it elk?
Imagine that thing
I
when it
think
was
so.
brown. How heavy that
man.
thing would have been.
golly.
That thing comes
15
Still
pounds?
being as chalky as it is, it's still
Yeah.
extremely heavy.
How long do you think that shed was sitting on the ground? If you were to
I'd
guess
like
how
to
many
think
years?
2-3 years.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
kind of in an open spot in the junipers there, and had direct sun coming down on it in the middle of the day. Still trying to decide if I want to get it restored or not.
We got guard dog on duty.
Just because
Go
there's a few twigs snapping
Go
over here
get
to
'em.
my right.
She can smell some. I can't
Oh
smell
no,
some.
I heard them over there for sure.
Boy,
I don't know, just
y'all got raccoons up here?
Coons, porcupines,
Let's shoot 'em.
skunks,
Got my
possums,
What is it, Ram,
no
huh?
badgers,
Hunt 'em up. Look at your hair.
coyotes, lots of fox, lots of red fox. We do have some grays though.
You're so brave.
Mountain
Come on.
lions.
Brokey, come on.
Lots of lions, bobcats. There was a big fresh
Probably a little cat walked by just now and we had no idea.
cat shit.
We saw some cat tracks today,
Yeah,
actually.
We did.
Yeah.
Look, that's perfectly okay. Cat walks on by. I don't know about it.
Yeah.
That's okay with me.
That's perfectly fine with me. Oh, heck no, man.
sounds
Y'all can
pretty
have the
good.
kitty cats.
It'll be alright even if the cat comes.
Probably smell some of that turkey quick second.
Right.
Hey,
Amen.
come here. It's probably a bear.
That was some good thing.
Talk about some of your guys' land management at the cabin in Mississippi.
Well,
Is there still some in there?
it's about we got it's right at 300-acre tract, and it's all in the South Delta of Mississippi. It's a lot of farmland. The place used to be farmed, and then it was turned into CRP, which is it's all oak trees. About I guess they were planted about 27 years ago. So over the years, the place started out really thick, and it held a lot of deer. It provided a lot of bedding for deer, rabbits, things like that. And over time, the undergrowth has deplenished just because the trees are getting
Tremendously.
up. And so what we're focusing on now is providing a lot of bedding. And what we do is we don't cut our fields back as much. But we have them on. We'll have them on like 2 or 3 year rotations where we'll just go in and high clip our plots just because we don't want undesirable species. You know, you got volunteer trees and stuff that come in, and you don't really want that. So we started managing for that, and which that helps out on a lot of phone recruitment, and just provides bedding, keeps deer there year round for us because in the wintertime they have acres and what we plant for them, and of course the ag fields that are around that are around us.
They eat all year long.
Yeah.
I mean, they got either soybeans, corn, and yeah, sometimes there's cotton, but most times it's soybeans and corn, and our deer feed all year long on the best they can get.
Yeah.
It's
Consistency.
It's consistent.
Yeah. So, and we're struggling right now with especially during the spring, the green ups. We're not getting as much forbs, that whitetail like underneath our trees. So we're trying to let our fields grow up just a little bit. Have green ups, stuff like that. And then we've just recently started shooting does out there.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
because you weren't able to for a while, right?
Well, we weren't able to. We were just our neighbors. We had so much pressure from our neighbors, so we decided that we were just going to give a place for the does to hang out. Yeah. And we knew that when the rut came, that we'd be getting bucks over on us, hanging out with the does. So we just created this kind of a sanctuary for does, and we actually have about an 80-acre sanctuary on the place that we don't ever go in, we don't mess with, we don't hunt it. We just let the deer. That's the deer's place, and so we have stuff like that. I've been wanting to implement some like hack and squirt.
Some what?
It's a hack and squirt. You can go in, you hack the tree, and you squirt the chemical in there, and it kills the tree.
Oh, gotcha.
So it creates just a natural, dead stem. Mm-hmm. That creates sunlight on to the floor.
Yeah. That
creates bedding.
Yeah.
Forbs. Blackberries, things like that. Greenbrier.
Blackberries will come in.
Yeah. You get that, and that's good for songbirds and stuff like that, as well as you still have these snags up, which is great for for birds nesting. Got these dead snags, and we've been wanting to implement some of that stuff, but we run a lot of trail cameras, and we know what kind of deer we got out there, what we want to shoot every year, and we shoot for 5-6-year-old deer.
Yeah.
That doesn't always work out that way, but we try, and we're trying to get more managing for trophy whitetails, and
but it is hard on 300 acres.
It is.
You also gotta have. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
have your neighbors on board. Like your neighbors gotta be doing the exact same thing you are with that. So if you had 3,000 acres, you could really do some damage on doing what we want to do. You'd be able to definitely kill 5-6-year-old deer every single year. You could pick them out, like you could really manage your place a lot better. But the people across the road, they literally shoot everything they see. They're what in Mississippi we call meat hunters. They're there to feed their family, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how hunting started. Was, hey, this is going to provide for my family. Y'all. Not saying that's not us either. I mean, we use our deer meat, and we make sausage. I mean, we do boot like y'all ate tonight. I mean, we killed those deer off that land and made that boudin. But
that old boudin.
But we also want to kill a mature animal.
Right.
We want to see him reach his.
How many years in a row have you seen one and then killed it?
we've watched.
We've watched deer for years. We've watched one all
4 or 5
season.
years.
We've watched them for 2 or 3 years, but we've also watched deer. Man, I passed him 6 times. I made my 13-year-old little brother pass him 2 or 3 times. He's never even killed a deer that big. And Carson passed him 20 times.
Damn.
And then somebody was a guest hunter and went out there and killed him. And it's like, it's like, golly, I mean, you if you're in a camp like that, you can't control what. It's just it's kind of hard doing what we're doing.
For sure.
Because you get let down a lot.
Yep. But I guess if you look at it from a different angle, that was just meant for them to kill it.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. But it is hard to do what we're doing on 300 acres. It's
sure.
extremely difficult.
But
it does pay off.
So your surrounding neighbors are doing the same thing?
We got one on board. He's on board. He's doing the same thing we're doing, which is a big step. And the people actually across the road has really got to where they don't hunt as much. So it's them really working out in our favor.
Yeah, I think if it wouldn't have been for the floods over the past couple of years, our hunting out there we would have seen a lot from what we've been doing.
Yeah.
And that kind of set us back a little bit.
Explain how the floods affected it.
Well, farming, straight off, right there.
Yeah, the farming.
The farming, you get the deer were usually used to having feed, and it shut off. The water backed them up all. There were some places that had 400 or 500 deer on. How many acres you'd say some of those videos were?
When I was finding
No, I'm just talking about like those pictures that were getting shown around. Like,
I mean, it
was unreal. Like they were touching shoulders, and it looked like a cattle farm. It wasn't good, and they just all started dying off, and it was just a bad couple of years of flooding.
What really hurt with the flood is it came in about November.
Flood all the canals and stuff.
It flooded. So the
It
flood,
flooded everything.
Rivers, everything. Fields.
it flooded for
Everything.
like 4 months.
Everything.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
the deer have.
Crazy. Straight drought.
I want to say it was probably December. So the deer have already they bred, and so you have it lasted for four or 5 months. You have all these deer pushed up, and they're in their gestation period, and they're trying to start lactating. They have to have so much protein to survive, their pregnancies, and so you have so much pressure on these deer when they're like that you didn't get your good fawn recruitment. They had stillborns or something, things like that. It just didn't have, or they died. They didn't have enough feed, because you could literally go out where the water stopped was like right on the corner of our property. I'd go out there and fly a drone. In one field, there'd be 150 deer. There was probably 200 or 300 deer hanging out on our property.
We found
for months
y'all
while
big
they're while they're pregnant and trying to, they're trying to get enough food up, and the bucks are trying to get enough food for after post rut, and so it was just like this catastrophic. I mean, it was just perfect storm, especially for all the wildlife. So, and most of the time you don't see those. You don't see the damages from that until 2, 3, 4 years down the road, which is what we're kind of dealing with now. Because, man, the number one thing with whitetails that a lot of people don't know is fawn recruitment. That the bucks, the good bucks, it starts at day one when he's dropped. And if he's got enough protein, and the mom has enough protein, and you have enough nutrients, they can jumpstart and become really good whitetails. So it starts at day one, and a lot of people think that they feed protein. They want to feed protein for the bucks, and that's not the case. It starts with a doe, and it starts with that fawn.
Right.
So you've provided all that, do the best you can for provide cover and food for those does and for those fawns down the road. You're gonna have really good bucks, good deer. You're gonna have a good healthy herd.
What made you guys made the decision to start shooting does?
Well,
we would kill a few every once in a while, but like we started
seeing
way more
we were seeing
does.
some good numbers. That was, we had some very mature old does that needed to be taken out, and we had a state biologist come in, and I rode around with him and told him everything that we were doing and how many deer we were seeing, and he kind of took a survey of like browse lines throughout and seeing what the deer were eating, and he kind of made a decision that you kill 5 or 6 does for the next couple of years, years. That'll be good for it'll be good for the herd.
The
And so and in theory, I mean, you kind of want to have less does really.
You want 2-to-1 ratio.
$2 to 1 doe.
$2 to 1 doe.
I mean, that's in a perfect world. It's
I
really
agree
hard
with
to
that.
do.
I'll agree with that.
But it seems like the less.
She's just looking at you.
It seems like the
That's
less.
What you doing, baby girl?
The less does they have that the bucks have out there.
Oh. Good.
It just seems like the bigger the deer are. I don't know. I don't really exactly get it, but.
Do you guys ever get like the blue tongue down there?
No.
That's
I haven't ever seen it.
What's the average size of deer in your area?
Like body wise?
I suppose body and antler wise.
Oh, well,
I mean,
it depends on where you are.
So, in the Delta where we hunt, you're looking at 200.
15 and up.
Yeah, 200, 215 on like a 3 or 4 year old deer. So
Damn, I'm making the shit out of
we've
it.
actually killed some
that's a lot of
that were
in there.
That's
you know,
good.
pushing 250,
Yeah.
and
We gotta use.
so they're big deer.
At what?
Turkey
They're
water.
big deer there.
Turkey water?
Turkey water.
I mean, horn wise, we probably
Little turkey
average
water?
130s,
Yeah,
130s.
of
that's
that
right.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is.
Oh, yeah.
What's up?
You got a little bit of
Every
turkey
state's
water.
got the potential to,
Yeah,
grow a
water.
monster.
and I mean,
Fire water.
there's public land
Oh
not far
you
from
want to
us.
drink some?
and They kill.
Sorry, I was trying to.
They
trying to get
and a
you.
lot of us bow hunt only.
Turkey
They
water.
kill
So I guess
160,
turkey water's right
180
around the
deer.
table.
Okay.
And
There's cups over there
it's
too.
it's really good deer around there. We just have 300 acres. So we got to make the best of it. So that's what we try to do.
Sounds like it's starting to pay off. You guys have gotten some nice bucks.
We have.
Yeah.
We've been
I would like to come back and hunt more than just
very fortunate.
than just one morning in the stand, for like 2
Oh,
hours.
absolutely.
Well, yeah, you
Isn't
got
that
to do
fun?
that.
That's funny. That's where I originally met you, Carson,
I know. At the cabin,
at the cabin.
5 Mile Lodge.
A lot of things go on there.
Yeah, I don't remember most of the night.
Is
And that's how most of them go.
How did you get?
At the cabin.
yeah.
In Yazoo City, Mississippi.
One of so we have some raft guides at the boathouse from Mississippi, and ever since Eric and Phoebe bought the business in 2012, there's been, ever since 2011, there's been like these Mississippi boys that come to the boathouse and like filter through. Some have stayed longer, some only do a season or two. But then you get like our friends that we know come out to visit us in the winter, and they bring their friends. And we ended up going to, Phoebe and I went to Mississippi. We did the Delta, we did New Orleans with J-Mo, and J-Mo was like, I'm going to take you up to the cabin. Because I was like, I'm going to bring my bow. Can I hunt deer? And he's like, yeah, private property, let's hunt some deer. All right. bring my bow up, like expecting like some diehard hunters
They just weren't
show
there.
up, and they're like, "Woo, let's party!" And then we sat in the stand the next day, like for a couple hours, and yeah, cabin.
Yep, that's always a good time there. We tried. We do a lot of afternoon hunting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? That's all
We
right.
don't really.
Or I
I
do-
mean,
I do
unless
a lot
it's
of
rut.
mid-morning.
Yeah, we just get
Mid-morning
up.
hunting all the way through the end till dark.
Plus, that keeps the
I don't get
animals
up before
calm.
dark.
Yeah.
But if it's rut, then we're out there. It's a
Yeah.
little bit different. But sometimes in Mississippi, you don't know when the rut's gonna be, and you know Mississippi weather isn't like this up here. One day it might be 28 degrees, sleet everywhere. The next day, it's 75, and you're wearing shorts and want to
Yeah.
go play golf. You know, it's crazy.
And you know, and I've been successful a lot playing those fronts
Did Remy bring you that?
to where I'm looking at the weather really hard, and I know a front's coming in, and I'm trying to time it, and I'm getting in the stand, and I'm going to stay there. You know, if that front's coming through, coming out, you know, I try to play the weather a lot
Yeah.
and sit there on times that I think are the best. And I've been, you know, pretty successful doing that, as well as hunting bad days and getting burned out. I still go
Right.
hunt, but I don't hunt as hard on those days.
I also think that was our advantage today as well. Was yesterday it rained all day.
we had a
this
beautiful
morning,
morning.
The sun
Beautiful.
came out and it was warm, and then it got cold again and got
Oh, yeah.
quiet.
It was a
Weather-
great-
weather-
it was a great turkey day.
I mean, that's just like any hunting to me. I mean, weather comes in the factor. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I was telling you, like, we killed that bird, and then we were just hanging out there, and I was like, you know, this is kind of what the turkeys are doing right now. They're just kind of hanging out right
Chilling.
here.
Yeah.
And we're thinking that, you know, they should be moving around, but and then as we were walking out, we cut some tracks going down into the bottom, you know, where we were going to, and I was like, so they're doing the same thing we're doing, because why were we leaving, you know?
Yeah.
Because the wind picked up, the rain was moving in, we were getting into the bottoms and getting out of there,
Yeah.
and so
They were doing
they
the same
kind of
thing.
yeah, they're kind of doing the same thing, and where we saw 2 hens down there in the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
So
I didn't like. Sometimes I forget that they travel so far
Oh yeah.
in a day, just like we do. You know.
You guys
Yeah.
see them going to the trees much when it gets really rainy out?
I mean, not in Mississippi. We don't. I mean,
you don't see turkeys in Mississippi
yeah.
unless they're
Unless they're coming in to die.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much it.
that's what's so different about here. And
Well, heck, Nebraska, like, literally, we were riding around. They were on the side of the road.
Oh yeah.
It was stupid how many. It was just right there on the side of the road, dirt roads.
They almost like the cars. It makes them feel safe.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
yeah, the Marians definitely move a lot more. They move a
Yeah.
lot faster around here, and they have to. They cover ground. They move from farm to farm, or you know, whatever. And I mean, and it's whereas the Easterns back home, they kind of have their own little range, and it's a 100 acres, you know.
Yeah. And back there, they probably don't have unlimited, just over-the-counter tags either.
Oh, Mississippi?
No,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do. No, it's not tags. You gotta buy a license.
Yeah, you just buy a
Oh.
license.
You buy,
you get
but you get to hunt. Yeah, you get 3 birds. You can go hunt the whole season.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's like deer hunting. You can go over there and buy an, you know, out of state license. It might cost you $275, $300, but you
Right.
can hunt from
You can kill
October.
Six, you can kill 6 deer.
You can kill 6-7 deer.
Is that the price?
Yeah,
That's pretty
75.
crazy.
you can go over there and hunt all public land, or if you got private land, you're leasing and you just buy an out of state license.
Yep.
and-
The plan for next year.
We have a lot of deer over here.
yeah.
We have too many.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you you coming up next year,
Yeah, absolutely.
You just say it's $320 for your license, and you kill a buck and 2 does. I mean, that's well worth it right there.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean. And we'll take you this time. We're gonna do it right.
Right, that's how we do it.
But we could also do bow hunting too. You know, I mean, we can do both. I mean, you don't have to stop bow hunting all because it's gun season.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so
Yeah. Maybe I'll use that new Henry rifle that I'm getting.
that'd be pretty cool.
You can come shoot long range with us.
Yeah, so that's something we do out there. Is that we got one thing we call the Vegas box because it looks like the Vegas Strip. And we got it up 20 feet in the air. You can shoot 500 yards one way, 2,000 one way, 800 one way, and 1,500 one way the other. Like so we. Yeah, it's a bunch of wide open, like blocks of woods and big wide fields, and
it sits right in the middle.
Right in the middle of them. It's like the Vegas Strip. So, I mean, the reason we shoot long range is because we shoot our deer a long way. I mean, when we have an opportunity to shoot
take it.
You know, a certain class deer, that we want to be comfortable doing it. So we
shoot at that range.
We both shoot a 300 Win Mag Bagara. Yeah, and that's a pretty bad gun.
What's the scope you've got on it?
I'm running the Vortex.
Yeah.
Right now, I got a
Same
Nikon.
Vanguard?
Yeah, Vortex
Vortex.
is great.
Vanguard gun though?
I've actually got 2
No,
Vortex.
Bagara.
Oh, okay.
Upgraded.
Actually.
I think it's the 6x25.
Yeah, you went. You know, you went with the 6x24.
Yeah, 6x24 on the. And then I put the what was that? Was it the 9x?
No, you had a 4x16. That's what I'm shooting. Is the 4x16 Nikon, which I plan on switching to the 5x25 Vortex this year.
Does that just reach out a little further?
Yeah, it just gives me.
You see.
I'm trying to get better lighting when it gets on the 30 minutes, so I'm trying to get the biggest tube possible and stuff like that. So whatever I gotta get to do that, 4x16 is just fine for where we are. But whenever it comes to shooting long range, I mean, it's better to have a better, you know, you can zoom in a lot more and better reticles and things like that.
Out there.
Yeah, like I'm about to show you a
dare
picture.
take that to like my place in Hazlers.
All
I
right.
don't need that. You know, just carry my 270 because I have a 100-yard shot. Or you know, it's different. Different style of hunting.
Same with deer, probably less than a couple hundred, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, we got into that long range stuff, and it's fun.
Here's our
In
two
all-
guns.
in-
Like
in all
800 or
season,
so?
and
That's his
Yeah.
black
You know.
one. Yeah, that's our furthest shot right now.
We'll
is
probably
that
start
one.
shooting
damn.
here.
We shot 800 this day.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's his
Towards the end of May.
gun. Which
It's
he's got
not too hot.
he's got his decked out right
You
now.
guys customize that, or is that real?
I feel like
Oh.
people
Over
do
the
that more
counter.
often. People just kind
They're
of, like,
both
rely
over the
on
counter
their-
guns. They're both the same
their,
gun, which he
equipment they go
he
shoot a
used to
little
have a
bit
different
before they
stock on
hunt.
his.
Like,
Yeah,
they're
He
really
ordered
not.
a stock like mine to put on
And-
A
his.
lot of people aren't
And he
practicing
put a
as
muzzle
much as
brake
they
on the
should.
end.
For years, I
and
was shooting
stuff
a
like that.
270.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
so that's us. That's the day we shot 800 yards.
You can shoot about 15,
Oh, no, we
1800
can.
with that one.
Show Draya that.
I could probably shoot about 700-800 with mine, but I got.
So that Carson's gun is the black one, and mine's the brown one. That's the day we shot 800 yards right there.
Oh, damn.
like just at a
Is
target
that on the
or
property?
deer?
Well, it's back behind the property on which. Once the farmers are done, they leave
It's
their
like
land.
a 12x12.
And
like,
they're those fields are so long, they got their own dirt roads to ride their trucks down. Well,
Right.
so we just go park on one of those, and it's out to 1,000, 1,200 yards we can shoot. So we ordered steel targets for us to set up and start shooting at, instead of always doing paper. Therefore, we're hit the dome, and you know, stuff like that, so we can hear it. Oh yeah, it's one of the. If you've never been long range shooting, it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally watch somebody pull a trigger, them get off of the gun and look at you, and by the time they're looking at you, you hear it ding.
Yeah.
It's like it's really
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Some good
pretty
looking
awesome.
guns there too.
Yeah, they're really good
And
guns.
what's crazy is we've probably got $2,500 in those guns.
Oh yeah. sure.
And
Yeah.
there's sub MOA at 100 yards. And there's that gun, my gun on that day at 800 yards, I was sub MOA 800 yards, which is pretty impressive out of
Well, technically,
a $900.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole setup. A
yeah, whole
$2,500
setup's
gun.
2,500. But
Yeah.
like our
Can't beat
guns,
that.
Yeah.
our guns ranged anywhere from 850 to 1,000. Just the gun, and you can't beat the way that gun shoots.
Definitely heavy hitting caliber.
It's
Yeah.
a heavy gun too. It's not a gun that, like, I would feel it toting it up that hill. Like it weighs as
Yeah.
much as my
Yeah.
it weighs as much as my turkey pack and my shotgun.
But
together.
we also bought those. We also
Strictly
bought
for-
those guns for elk hunting as well. So.
Have you guys
Kills them
got
out,
anything
huh?
with them yet?
Oh
Still
no!
kills them
Well,
out.
yeah, we
We're
killed
already
some deer.
prepared.
Oh, nice.
I shot a.
So
I've
we gotta
got
hike more hills in the
his.
meantime.
I'll be in better
We
shape.
both got our longest shots on hogs. Oh, he's got his on a deer. My longest shot on a hog is around 445, and his longest shot on a deer is 460.
Yeah, pretty good.
I
Three.
killed my biggest buck this year at 365.
And I got to watch it.
Yeah,
It's
that
not a big-
was a whole nother
Yeah.
story.
I got to watch that deer.
Yeah,
And all like
Through my
on
binoculars.
flatland too.
all
while
on
he shot
flatland.
it?
That's even
Yes.
further.
He watched
Pretty
it drop in the
Yeah.
in the scope, like in his binoculars. Watched it fall.
It's cool.
It was a pretty cool hunt. Like that's another hunt you won't like forget. Like it was just really
like
cool.
I killed a buck that morning
Yeah,
because I was like, it's the day. Like,
we
it's one
actually
of those
talked about the
days.
afternoon before. Tomorrow's the day to hunt.
Yeah, got in there
Yeah,
and by 7:30 I called him, and he was in like
Yeah.
Alabama or something.
no, I wasn't. I was in Vicksburg. I wasn't that far. I was in Vicksburg, Mississippi, on the edge of Louisiana and Mississippi, and I see Carson Smith calling me at 7:22, and I was like, as soon as I answered, I said, "Which one'd you kill?" Like, 'cause I knew he killed.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get that phone call that early without something being dead, or either he missed or something.
I'm gonna go into that.
No, he ain't
Some
gonna go
crazy
into that.
story. Yeah.
But yeah, and he was like big 7 down. Like we celebrated at the phone.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I spent.
Hell yeah.
So I was up there by myself, and this deer, he weighed 245 when we weighed him. So I had to get him out by myself. I spent all day, most of the day, just taking my time, getting him out, got it to the cabin, got him, just took my time cleaning him and stuff. And I've been calling Chase like every
Every 2 hours or something.
Like, you got to get
Oh
up
yeah.
on.
He's like,
Gotta
you
game
coming?
plan.
I already done drank a
Maybe.
beer.
Yeah, I was like, you got to get up here and hunt this afternoon. I'm hunting with you because I can't kill him. I can't kill a buck.
Yeah, it's just a call.
And we met at the gate at 4:30 and went in there.
Well, 4. We met exactly at 4.
Oh, this wasn't a 10 a.m. hunt?
No, this was he said, "You gonna make it?" I said, "I'll be up there. You know, if you meet me, you meet me." Well, he went and dropped another member off, and we literally pull up at the gate at the exact same time. He's like, "You ready to kill a damn buck?" I was like, "Let's go." So we loaded up in the car and rode to our back stand, and
Got
that's
him.
when all the magic happened. It was just, it was meant to be, and.
It was wild.
Yeah, so we watched a few does come out of a far block and cross the field, and watched them feed out. Then we watched a little 10-inch 8-point come out, and he started bumping those does and things like that. Well, Carson was watching all the deer behind us, and I was watching out in front because it was quick passing stuff, so you had to be ready. And anyway, so I'd turn around every once in a while just to look at deer. You know, I like watching them. And anyway, we really weren't seeing much. It was getting crunch time around 5:05, 5:10. Of course, it's like, oh, we got some more deer coming out from that same block. Well, there was a couple does. Well, we got around 5:15 and really getting hairy burger time. And I was like, man, I just want to turn around and look at these deer and see, let's swap. So he's looking out front, and I was looking at all the deer in the back. Well, the does near about done made it to us with that little 8-point with them. They're like 85, 90 yards, 100, right up in there, trotting across. Well, I look over against the wood line, and all of a sudden I just see white horns running out of the wood line. I said, Carson, big buck, big buck. It wasn't he was turned around, had the chair, it wasn't a swivel chair. He had it turned around out the window. Where? And I pointed him in the right direction. He's like, oh, yes. So I put my binoculars, I load my gun, get everything up, and like he told you yesterday, I hadn't killed a deer in
What, 7?
9
9
years. I haven't killed a buck that I wanted to shoot. Let's say that. I've killed cold bucks and I had to shoot a few wounded deer and stuff like that. I was like, man, like I'm on a deer, but it's like dusk. And I can tell it's a buck, but I know it's him, and I'm like, man, should we shoot? Of course, like, man, that's a big deer. I'm like, which one do you think it is? He goes, I don't know. I'm like, you think we should shoot? He sat there and paused. He goes, deer's 365 yards. If you want to kill him, pull the trigger now.
So yeah, we're running out. We're running
Yeah,
out.
we're running out of daylight.
I was like, he's a good buck. Chase, if you want him, you need to take him right now. So
Took him.
No, then
we started. He was like, he got up and he was. I was just telling him, deer on the left, 360, 360, 360, deer on the left, 360, and then I heard he went over. I could hear him. He dialed in over there.
I'm having to use my phone and my light to look at my dial.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's that dark?
Well, I'm inside the black box stand, so it's even darker in there.
Yeah.
So I can't see my numbers on my dial.
Yeah.
He's dialed in, safety off. I know it's game time.
Yeah, Carson hears click, and so as soon as he heard that click, it was. I pulled the trigger. Well, I'm just gonna say that I pulled the trigger with that 300 Win mag. I had it propped up on in 365. When I pull that trigger, that recoil, I lose all sight. That's dark. It was pretty much dark anyway. So I'm like, I'm just sitting there, like that. Get him? And Carson's sitting here on his binoculars out the window. I'm like, hey man, did I get him? He's just sitting there, just like this. 30 seconds go by. I'm like, I hit him. I said, hey. I said, I guess I missed. And he kind of pulls back from the nose and he looks at me with this just dull look. Like, you dummy. You idiot, you missed. And he just slaps me in the chest. Hell yeah! I'm like, no. And we just start celebrating in the box stand, like going crazy. I'm like, and then we sit back down and we calm down. I'm like, I missed the deer. I don't see him out there. I missed him. He goes, no, Chase, you flattened him. He's done.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't see him. Well, he had his thermal scope, like for hogs and stuff. He pulled that out and. We were sitting there and I finally looked through it and he's like, all right, you see that dark glowing blob out there?
Yeah.
That's your deer. I was like, well, how do you know it's just not another deer? He goes, all right, look on the wood line. There was all those deer just ran on the wood line and sat there. They were all still moving and that one was just sitting there. Well, that was just the beginning of the party.
It took us 2.5 hours to get that deer out.
Yeah.
Really?
And it was in flat field.
Okay.
So
It was
Couple river bottoms.
it was in a disc up gumbo.
Oh,
I don't care if you got the baddest. Yeah, I don't care if you got the baddest Polaris
We had to
around.
drag that deer like
You
400
can't go out there and get it. You had to drag him through the mud.
So in that one day,
Can I get one of those, Cam?
I drug 500 pounds worth of deer.
Thank you, sir.
In that one day.
500?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
I was
Because all
worn
the
out.
mud stacking up on it.
So you drove
Yeah,
how
well-
far? 400 yards?
It was
Well, hang on
Gutted,
now.
Obviously.
He has a 2-wheel drive golf cart. We started using the golf cart to keep down sound and all that. So we got the golf cart stuck. So, but we were still so pumped up and amped up. We're like, let's just go. Let's just go see the deer. So we go to where we both think he's supposed to be laying. We're shining lights. I said, I told you I missed this damn deer. Like I'm getting all like it's everything. So and then he starts kind of like he's like, man, he's supposed to be right here. So then we walk out just a little bit further, and his light, he has good stream light. He shines out in the middle of that field, and all of a sudden you see horns sticking up.
Sticking up.
This dude, I'm telling you, I mean, we've been best friends, like I told you, for 20-something years. I think he was more excited about me killing a deer, and you know, since I hadn't done it in such a long time, than I was. He literally sprinted, like we were both running, but when we got out there, we're both just freaking hugging and high-fiving, hell yes, and everything like that. And we sat there and enjoyed the moment. And
he done something.
Yeah, hey, Carson said, "Oh boy, you done something." He said that probably 40 times that night.
He's a good damn buck. I mean,
Was it one of the ones you showed me earlier?
it's one of that wide.
It was that wide one I showed you.
Yeah, it had like the big forks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Like,
it.
like-
He was 21 inches
Yeah.
wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a
we had him on
good,
camera
mature
last year.
whitetail.
Yeah.
He weighed 237.
Yeah,
I think 237 or
You want the guts out
227,
of
something like that.
No,
You want the guts out of them?
No,
You drug them all the way back to the
Yeah.
guts in them, huh?
well, because we like to weigh them. We want to
Okay.
know how much they weigh, and
Alright.
Remy.
you know,
When
Come
I
here.
used to do a lot of deer hunting, I'd have to drag them maybe 2-3 miles up like steeper hills.
oh, I would definitely get that.
Hey, come on.
But
Girl, come here.
yeah, we had.
Come on.
It was a good time. It was a good hunting year.
Come.
It's still
That
been
would
a
be
good
tough
hunting year.
dragging deer. with
It's
the
been a
guts
heck
in
of
it.
a.
I saw that same
Deer
sort of
to deer to
celebration
turkey.
today when we got that turkey.
That was very.
Oh,
That was exactly how it was.
yeah, that deer hunt was exactly that. Like, I mean, we've had a couple of those moments, like where it was like
I mean,
that.
hell,
I
didn't even pull the trigger on any of those, on both of those.
Yeah.
hunts,
You
don't have to.
today. And I mean, I had the best seat in the house.
Seen it all.
Oh,
But here's the funny thing:
I know,
I
my
never
seat was
get to
pretty
watch
good,
the
too.
show.
yeah.
Like all of our hunts together, and we got a lot. I never get to watch like the show. All the turkeys that's ever been killed.
You
Like
killed
my-
them all?
No, my very first one. No, my very first one. My very first turkey. You know, it was. We had 2 birds come in. We only got one of them, but the 2 turkeys put on so much of a show.
Yeah.
They were both double gobbling out in the middle of the field. Well, I'm sitting up one way and I can't move. So Carson's like, man, I watched the whole thing. They were doing this and strutting around and blowing up. You should have seen it. And I'm like, man, I wish I killed one, but I didn't see it. Like,
Yeah.
I never get to, just watch it. And that's something I get to hope I do tomorrow. That'd be freaking
He
awesome.
always sits up on the wrong tree. I tried to tell him.
Yup.
He got the right tree
Gotta
today.
feel it
man.
out.
Yeah, we did get the right tree today.
Yeah.
How many?
I'm just glad y'all came
How
over
high
there.
up
Like,
there were you guys?
that made it even more
It
special.
was
Like
so good.
that
500.
moment right there, that moment though, when he gobbled that close, and we all freaked out. We were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, when he gobbled, I think Carson
realize
was
that
like,
bird was
he's
like-
right there, and we all were like,
we all were sitting down. I don't even think we eased down. Like I think everybody did like belly flops on their butt. Like boom, done.
That bird
was-
was like 30 yards.
Yeah, 30 yards. I mean,
Like I was like,
he's here.
this is oh shit.
It was wild. It really was. It was a good experience.
So what were y'all thinking whenever when we heard him gobble and we made that move, like
Which move?
20
We
yards.
made?
When he first gobbled,
Okay, then you
made that
backed
move
up.
20 yards after he gobbled on my call,
Yeah.
and then I was sitting there for a minute, and I was like,
Y'all were
trying to
back
figure out-
behind me.
No, I was sitting there for a minute trying to figure out
Yeah.
what to do.
I was thinking it's better to like.
What was y'all thinking? What
I
were
was
y'all
thinking,
'Cause I know
like-
what I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
You're talking about when we were all 3 standing there and he gobbled to our left.
When he gobbled, we were trying to figure out how to make a move.
Yeah. Which
We
on
were
which
sitting there
gobble
for-
though?
We were sitting there for.
The first gobble we had,
It might have been a minute or so.
it was the first gobble we all heard together standing there. That's the one you're talking about. Not the one whenever
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, he's gobbled, he's down here," and we all
were
went
not
walking.
moving at all.
Yeah.
We were just standing there,
I
and I wasn't saying anything to y'all.
I purposely just like stepped back because I wanted to like see what you guys were gonna do.
Yeah. I mean, no, I
What
knew
was-
it. I knew it.
What were you thinking, Chase?
We had to sit down pretty damn soon.
I was thinking I have about a minute.
I
to
didn't
figure
think
out
we had
where
a
the hell we
minute.
need to be.
Yeah, like he
Which
was.
birds are gonna be on top?
He was there. But like it kind of like, I don't know. It was very weird. One, we're used to hunting land that we know, and this week is showing
Well, I
us
remember
like,
you guys said that. You're like, "Oh, we don't really know this land.
yeah, like
And I remember I was like, I could say something, but I'm not because it doesn't really matter like whether you know the land or not. Like if you know how to hunt an animal and like take
Yeah.
like look at your land and be like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, and that's what you guys did.
yeah. So like on the land that we're usually turkey hunting, like if we hear a bird gobble, we can make a move on them and know the exact route to take, and we know what tree we want to go to, where we got a chance of killing that bird. Today we didn't, but on that second gobble, what you're saying, Carson, when he gobbled, yeah, I knew we had to get somewhere and get somewhere very fast, or either we sit down where we are.
Yeah.
It was at that, like, that was my mind thinking.
What were you thinking, Carson?
I knew I had about a minute to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I was pushing the minute.
Yeah. And that's when we backed up.
But I saw
Remember?
that opening.
We backed up. We backed up a little bit.
Yeah, that's when we sat back.
We went back, and
Yeah,
I
we
sat
sat
down,
down.
y'all sat back,
Yeah.
and then y'all started calling, and he gobbled again. That's whenever he was
To the left.
sounded like he was further down the ridge. And that's whenever I called y'all up. I stood up, I'm like, no, y'all come on. He's going down the ridge. So when we all, basically, as soon as y'all got there, Carson hit that call, and he was 35 yards. And then it was done. We all just sat down, and you hit a few more yelps, and he was 17 yards from us.
I got a great video of it.
Oh yeah, you did.
You didn't get the kill, but you got the after effect.
Oh yeah, that was the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I soaked every last second of it out there on that mountain. Soaked it up for like 4 hours, still soaking it up. Man,
I wonder how we'll feel in the morning when we wake up,
I'm gonna feel fucking great.
ready to do
Oh
it
yeah,
again.
ready to do it exactly the exact same way. I would hike up that mountain again to do that.
There's more toms in there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
we might just made too much noise up there
Yeah.
this morning.
Probably needs a couple. Yeah.
We got wild. Which is good.
Celebrate it, you know?
It's all
Sure, you're
good.
still only a couple miles away, maximum.
There'll be a new one that'll
Oh,
come
yeah.
in. They always
They always take
replace each
somebody's
other.
place.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about turkey hunting. You get in these like pockets, and it's like a dominance corridor, and you can literally just go in there, and you pick one bird out, and the next day there'll be another bird in there gobbling. And I see it a lot on my camp land, and I mean for years I've killed birds in the same spots for years, and they just replaced each other.
Well, since that bird was by
Days.
himself, he might not have been the king, though, right? There could have
I
been
mean
more bigger.
that's very true. I
You
mean,
know, he could have been already ran off.
yeah, he
That's
could
why I wonder
have
about
been
that.
chased off. And
Tom that we were getting into the other night, those other 2 days.
Yeah.
He had hens with him, and he would call, but he would never come in. He came in like snuck in.
yeah,
If he were to have hens, and then there's other toms that are around trying to like come in and like I keep thinking of it as elk hunting. Like, are the toms and the bulls essentially doing the same thing?
Yeah. I mean, you know, you have
Like,
like
do you have
I
satellite
don't know
toms?
much about.
Do you have satellite
Absolutely.
toms? Like, you have
Yes,
satellite bulls?
absolutely.
Do you have spike tom, like Jake's? I guess.
Oh yeah,
maybe?
see, here's a lot of
Jakes
people.
are the worst.
Jakes are the worst. That's what a lot of
They'll
people don't
ruin your
know.
hunt.
If you get like, I forgot who I think I was telling you. If you get like 3 or 4 Jakes, remember what we were talking about walking that 4-wheel trail
Yeah.
about the Jakes? If they come in this one time, those 3 Jakes will come in there and whoop that Tom's butt. Cause it's 3-on-1. I don't care how bad that time is. He ain't gonna win that battle.
They can be man.
Yeah.
And
They're in a hunt.
anytime that time gobbles, then Jake's gonna go over there and mess with him. So he'll always run away. Cause he's already got his butt whooped once. He's like, I ain't gonna do this again.
And that's a lot of reason why I don't use decoys.
Yeah, we didn't even have time to set them up today.
No.
It's just because
We had time to set ourselves up.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've seen a lot of decoys, so they'll probably just educate them anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a lot of decoying going on up here, especially like on the edge of these fields, trying to come off those ridges and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I bet there is a lot of that going on.
Yeah,
No, there's a lot of those classic turkey hunters that are just out there to decoy.
the Merriams and the Rios, they decoy very well. Because that's, I mean, they're in the open and they're relying more on their sight to actually see their hen, not so much
Get a
as
little
the
bit of
locals.
rain, huh?
Yeah, little rain
You know,
coming
like
down.
Easterns
Right.
in the hardwoods back home. So
Relying mostly
on their hearing, and yeah, exactly. But you know, they're going to see their hen when they at 60 yards or whatever, you know. Whereas out here, they can see their hens at 600 yards.
Yeah.
So decoying birds out here, could be very beneficial. Not so much for us, you know, from Easterns. It's just, you know, it's a different ball game, different territory.
Well, we're still game home.
They're fun though. I love Merriams.
Yeah, that was
Merriams.
the best hunt it could have been.
It was.
It couldn't have gone any better.
Hopefully we'll,
Repeat.
yeah. And then we go down to Kansas and
Yeah.
There you
No.
go.
take care of business in Kansas. We don't, huh?
I ain't gonna lie, we're running out of shells though, boys. We
Decent shells, huh?
no, we don't damn. I mean, we brought a lot with us. We just weren't expecting what we've been doing.
Right. I'd be shooting a little bigger shot than 9 shot.
No, it's a lot. It's bigger than what you think.
Oh, I know it's still good because it's a turkey load, right?
Yeah,
It's
just so
the best.
dense.
It's the best load you can shoot
Like
out of the
I
gun.
was shooting like a Winchester six
See that?
shot turkey load.
See this? My number 9s out of a 20 gauge will outdo that.
I don't doubt it. You know,
It-
it seems weird to me because I'm a duck hunter,
Oh yeah,
but
that's
you shoot them with double.
It's the
beam.
density of that
yeah.
BB.
Right.
It's crazy.
With the
Heavier.
energy that's packed in that BB.
All
It's- That's what separates it. And there's so many, much more of them because they're
Totally
nines.
so.
It's changed.
It's
It's
just so weird because the turkey's bigger than a goose, you know.
Yeah.
And we're shooting geese with like double beam, even further.
Yeah.
Than we shoot
Well-
these turkeys with a 9 shot.
But my pattern's a lot tighter. Like
Yeah.
like whenever
More fatter.
whenever that load or that shotgun shell hit that turkey today, it was probably this big.
Right.
And when it hit
Maybe a
him, like
couple up here, down here.
maybe.
nothing. Yeah.
my gun that I shoot
Right.
is at that range, it is stupid tight.
Right.
Like
You can't miss on
I got a buddy of
you
mine.
better not miss.
Right.
Like you got a better chance of missing up close than you do
it. Yeah.
further away.
Up close on the side.
Yeah.
of the face, they're
There's a
bad.
buddy of mine that's shooting ducks with a 410
Really?
Yep.
out of TSS.
He's making his
Like-
own loads and he's hammering. them.
Custom load TSS.
What kind of
duck.
shot? What size?
Probably
Nines.
9s or 10s or whatever.
I'm telling you, he's knocking them out of the
Yeah.
sky like it's nothing.
410.
All right. I mean, I'm sure.
It's badass. Which his is all custom load. You know, he gets it to his gun.
I mean, if it isn't steel, I'm sure he's knocking it down real good.
Got a deed to the land, but it ain't my ground. This is God's country.